Welcome to our pocket-sized play of Andrew Medeiros' The Woodlands, being played in the Mouse Guard setting. This series was originally played over the course of 4 3-hour sessions. We have edited the Hangout audio from those sessions down to 11 episodes, roughly 30 minutes in length each. This first episode is largely Session 0 sort of stuff, doing an overview of the game and setting, character introductions, and establishing some relationships between the characters. We do, however, kick off the story in this episode with our patrol receiving a very important mission from Gwendolyn, matriarch of the Mouse Guard. Enjoy.
This is session 1 of the Woodlands in the Mouse Guard setting. This is a Powered by the Apocalypse version of Mouse Guard, essentially. And the Luke Crane version of Mouse Guard is pretty crunchy and based off Burning Wheel. This is a much more like streamlined sort of system. Drew is a big fan of the setting, and he wanted something that was more PBTA in nature, so he made the Woodlands. Our goal for today is to make characters, and then we are going to get your mission. This session, I want to find out at some point from each of you what color your cloak is. All Mice Guard are given a cloak and by their mentor, like whenever they're inducted into the guard. And the color of the cloak is significant. It has some sort of some sort of relationship to your personality or your style or your beliefs. Okay, so as deemed by your mentor. So be thinking about your cloak color and what it signifies. And I'll probably ask you for that in a moment of like tension or crisis, okay? Importantly, if one of you chooses to be a recruit, in the Woodlands it's called a recruit, in the setting it's called a tender paw. If you choose to be a recruit, you don't have a cloak yet, okay? And part of your goal for this series will be to get your cloak, all right? Characters will be your mentor. Tone of the game is, generally speaking, kind of like adventure and very mission oriented. In the comics, it gets a little grim sometimes. Like, even though they're like cute little mice, like, you know, but they have swords and there's a lot of like internal strife and politics in the territories, and we're going to try to emulate some of that. And then subject matter wise, I don't care to see these mice fucking, so let's just keep that off the table. I'm not interested in it. Romance is fine, but that's pretty much like sort of like romantic Arthurian approach maybe to like romance is cool in this environment. I'm not super interested in anything beyond that. So I don't think we need to have any more discussion about subject matter because it is a comic book for ostensibly for children, okay? Or I don't know if it's for children, but it's notionally for children because it looks cute. But so go dark, but I'm not interested in like real no torture, no nothing like that. Okay, no sexual assault.
Sounds a lot like Redwall kind of.
It's a lot like Redwall, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, does anybody have any questions about that before we get going? Okay. Whoever chooses the leader will be the leader of the patrol. You all play a patrol, okay? I think it would be great to have a tender paw or recruit, but don't feel pressure to include one. But I think it makes for a nice like sort of character development and drama in the patrol. So
it's that was the one I was considering.
I was looking at explore.
Okay.
I was kind of excited about the veteran.
Okay, then I will play the leader, I suppose, then.
Okay.
Oh, that was quick.
There we go.
if there's no like playbook leader in the patrol, we just go with the more senior mouse, and they're the leader of the patrol. But if you choose to be the leader, you are the leader. Okay,
so don't let us box you in, David. Play whatever you want.
That's my point. Yeah, be whatever you want, David. Don't feel like you have to pick the leader.
Yeah, make somebody else lead.
Yeah, there you go. As the leader, I commend you.
Heavy lifting.
I choose to shirk my responsibilities. Okay, so we've got a veteran, a tender paw. I'm going to refer to the recruit as a tender paw from now on, so just know that, River. We have a veteran, a tender paw, a leader, and what were you going to be, Fraser?
Explorer.
Explorer. Okay, cool. Go ahead and just start running through the playbook and filling out the Google Sheet. As a captain, David, that makes you actually really important in in Lockhaven as well. Like you're more than just a patrol leader, okay? Which means, and that's fine. That just means like whatever your mission is, it must be really important. Like Gwendolyn wouldn't send you if it wasn't like a big deal, okay? And it is a big deal. We'll talk about it soon.
I think I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Thundercats are go.
All right, so we have Bartholomeus. Can I just call you Bart? Is that fair, Fraser?
Yeah, Bartholomew. Spelled bad.
Kelsey, Fergus, and Thran. Okay, cool. Let's just go around the table real quickly. David, tell us about Thran, just the look and your playbook and the look, and if there's something, if you have a move that that kind of affects the other players, let us know about that too.
Sure. So I'm Thran, the leader playbook, with white fur, slim body, piercing eyes, and a daring demeanor. I don't believe that. I mean, my moves will help you or potentially like call you out. But I think the call you out move is more like for NPCs. But
and what's your weapon?
I use a spear.
A spear. Awesome. Okay, thank you for that. Stephen, tell us about Fergus.
Fergus is an old mouse. He kind of stooped over, and if you haven't met him before, you're not sure why he's actually a guards mouse. He looks too old and too frail to really be doing stuff. But when you get out in the field, he's like tough as nails and can definitely do his job still. And he's always reminiscing about the good old days. And, in my day, it snowed all the time. And that kind of stuff. He's got kind of a stringy body and gray fur. A little bit grumpy, a little bit distant until something actually needs to get done.
Cool. Question about Fergus. Is he a veteran of the war with the weasels?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, obviously the Tender Paw's not, but and almost certainly Bartholomew isn't. But what about you, Thran? Are you a veteran of the Weasel War?
I think that I am part of the new guard that is replacing all those.
So you're like a hotshot, like new captain or whatever. Is that fair?
Yeah, I don't know if like hotshot's the right term. I think I'm the one that actually like takes it seriously among like all these people who want to be hotshots.
Got it. I see. Okay, but you are part of the new guard, though. Okay, good. So our only veteran is Fergus. That's good. Awesome. And what's your weapon, Fergus?
A staff.
A staff. Awesome. Okay, so River, tell us about. Actually, let's do Bartholomew first. Fraser, tell us about Bartholomew.
Bartholomew is got gray hair, athletic, gentle eyes. He's friendly, and I think he is just like a year or two into the guard, and he's got a penchant for exploration, so people send him like out front to check stuff out a lot. And I've got a bow, and I've got hunter-gatherer, which helps me look for food and medicine. And when I trailblaze, I help everybody. Everyone gets a +1 if I trailblaze.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Awesome. River, tell us about Kelsey.
Kelsey's new. She's just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here.
How long ago was the Weasel War?
You wouldn't have been born yet. So
okay.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking like this is like gray fur stuff, right? The
okay.
Weasel War. Yeah.
I grew up around a grandparent who was a survivor of the war. And was, injured and couldn't do the mouse guard duties anymore, and talked about tales of honor and valor and yada, yada, yada. And I was completely enthralled. My siblings thought I was out of my mind because that's not very mousely work, going out and doing dangerous things. Mice are kind of homebodies usually, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're kind of like hobbits, right? They usually stay home unless they're bonkers, and then every village has one or two in a generation that are the weirdos. So I guess that's my character.
It's probably more common than you imagine, because the mouse guard is pretty like not pervasive. That's the wrong word, but like pretty. There are a lot of them, right? Like it's like throughout the territories. But that said, that you're right. The vast majority of mice are mostly focused on like crafting and trades, right? Trades and farming and that kind of thing. And the guard just like makes sure that all the trains run on time, essentially, right? And occasionally wage war if need be.
I want to say that I'm carrying my Grand Matron's axe.
Oh, so it was your grandmother who is a part of the Weasel War. Is she dead?
Not when I left.
Okay, good, perfect. And what's her name?
Genevieve.
Okay, cool. Now look at your sheet where it says animals of note. That's going to be mice of note for you guys.
Does Thran have a lighter side, or is Thran just like super business? You know, we got places to go, people to save.
He's overcompensating so that he can keep rising through the ranks. Like, the fact that he doesn't have substantial combat experience means, like, he has to try 10 times harder to advance in a world where there's all these veteran mice from the war. So he's pretty serious, but he wasn't always in the guard. So
what do you have in mind, River?
I'm just trying to pick a mentor, looking for a more kindred spirit, like someone else on the crew that's young at heart, even if they're not.
It sounds like it might be Bartholomew or Fergus then.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be Bart.
yeah.
Why do you sound sad about it? Bart is cool. He's friendly and he likes to go searching through the forest. That's like pretty mouse-like. You know? I have Thrawn as the best of us and knows it. I have a lot of respect for Fergus and their skill set. I've saved Kelsey's life on more than one occasion.
That sounds about right.
So I have, Kelsey, if you're okay with it, I was friends with your grandmother.
That works.
And I'm going to say that Thrawn is young and brash, and I will temper him. And I keep catching Bartholomew going through my things.
I had one follow-up question. Who was Fergus? You were friends with the grandmother?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had that right. Thran, you've noted that you and Barth go way back. I'm curious, like, what you want to just let that develop in the scenes, or do you have any thoughts on what that might be?
I think that we like grew up together.
Okay, I'm into that.
Where are we from? Port Sumac?
Is that where Bart's from? Fort Sumac?
Well, I mean, that's already canon. And
I can't remember, to be honest.
Don't worry too much about your origins, because my starting questions like have a lot of like built-in assumptions in there. So yeah, we can sweat those details later. On the right-hand side of the map, I've put a little picture of Gwendolyn standing over the map. Okay, so you can kind of get a sense of what this scene might look like. By tradition, the Mouse Guard matriarchs, well, that gives it away. The leaders of the Mouse Guard are always female mice. Okay, it's always a matriarch. Captains and various other higher ups can be male or female, but the tip top leader is always a female. It's always a matriarch. That's a sort of historical precedent that was set during the founding of the Guard many years ago, and it's been maintained throughout all that time. Gwendolyn is a mouse with sort of soft, creamy white fur. She wears a blue cloak, and it's like a little ornamentation around her cloak that like signifies her office as the matriarch. Oftentimes, like whenever the patrols are going out, or just regular patrols, the Guard captains kind of like handle the dispensation of those responsibilities and like if they have any mail that has to be delivered or anything like that in the middle of their patrol, you'll kind of get all those things. But occasionally, for very important missions, you'll get called up, and Gwendolyn will get to you directly, okay? And you know if you're going up to the top of the tower to meet with Gwendolyn, that whatever you're doing is a big deal, okay? And also, Thrawn's presence in the patrol means it's kind of a big deal, okay? So all of you straight away, like, know, like, this is going to be a big thing. Kelsey, you've been instructed to stand at the rear of the room and pay attention, but keep your mouth shut. That is your duty, while the three proper guard mice go over the details with Gwendolyn. Okay, she's got the map spread out before you, and she uses these little markers that are shaped like mice to like map out various important places, kind of show you what you're looking at. They look like this. This is from my Mouse Guard box set. These little mice markers that she puts out on the map, right? And now I should tell you, the season is spring, okay? Spring is when it's kind of like the new year, essentially. During winter, very few, actually almost none, no patrols go out in the winter because the weather is too bad. And so everyone just kind of like huddles up in the winter. But spring, it's time to go out, reestablish, reestablish trails, that maybe have been washed away or whatever by melting snow, pour the scent border, that's important, as well as deliver messages and things between the settlements. Essentially, everything's kind of coming back to life in the spring. You guys are being called up to speak to Gwendolyn a little early. It's as early as possible, essentially, right? Like the first official day of spring, maybe even the day before the first official day of spring. You guys are being called up to speak to Gwendolyn. And she's mostly speaking to you, Thrawn, but everybody's there. She says, we have... Thank you all for coming today. I regret to inform you that we have a very, very serious problem. And it's something that I'm going to need you each to keep under your cloak for the time being. I don't want to cause any alarm within Lockhaven. But it turns out that half of our reserve supply of scent pots was destroyed at some point during the winter. And we do not have enough scent to pour the southwest border. I am conducting investigations here in Lockhaven to try to ferret out the perpetrator. But I'm going to need you all to travel to Spruce Tuck and acquire more scent, and then as quick as possible get down to the southwest border and begin pouring it. And she kind of points out on the map, and I'm going to hover over here. You'll see where I'm pulsing. That's Lockhaven. She says, you're going to go by way of Ibydale, which means you're going to go through Ibydale and then to Elmos and then to Spruce Tuck. And in between Ibydale and Elmos, this juncture, there is a little town called Appleloft. Okay, so it's Ibydale to Appleloft to Elmos to Spruce Tuck. Okay, and then from Spruce Tuck down to the scent border. Right. So she says, normally we would have you deliver messages and accompany carts of grain from Ibydale in particular, but we don't have that kind of time. I need you all to move with haste to Spruce Tuck and negotiate fair price for new scent. And then she kind of leans in to just the three of you who are actual guard mice, kind of so Kelsey can't hear. She says, the governor of Spruce Tuck has been agitating for some time for an increase in the amount of money that Lockhaven pays for new scent. I suspect that he was behind this sabotage that is forcing us to go to him with our paws open to request more scent. Just keep your eyes and your ears open when you get to Spruce Tuck, okay? If you get any word that he was in fact responsible, try to acquire some evidence of this and let me know straight away. Do you understand? And then she says, all right then, guard mice, I don't have anything else. This is an incredibly important mission. You're one of the first patrols to go out this season, so you're not going to have a lot of help out there. So just keep your ears open and your eyes alert, and good luck. And as she sends you out, well, first of all, do you guys have any questions for her?
I don't think so.
Man.
Okay.
I would look bad if I asked questions.
You can.
I have you marked down as I keep trying to teach Kelsey, but they are slow to learn certain things.
Poor Kelsey.
Do you have any questions, Kelsey?
No, I think we'll just annoy Thran after.
Very good. We can have that scene in a moment. What do you think? Thran?
I have a question about the setting because I have a thought. In Mouse Guard, is there are there mounts? Is there something that these mice would potentially ride to make them make all haste?
Yeah. Fraser, you might know it better. What kinds of things do they ride?
They ride cockroaches, and then they have, or not cockroaches, beetles.
Beetles.
And the beetles also pull carts if you're on the go transporting goods kind of thing.
The thing is, I don't think the beetles are as nimble, right? Can't the mice navigate?
They have
easier on foot.
Yeah, they have hares as well, but it's like a co-op. You have to convince the hare to do it. They're not subservient to the mice. You feed them or.
It's also very rare. Yeah. It's rare, and it's also early in the season too. A lot of the other animals are just kind of shaking off the winter, right? So you guys this is kind of almost like a pre-spring mission, right? Winter is not quite over. Are you asking her about transport though, like moving faster?
Yeah, I wonder if there might be some experimental military thing that we've been working on to try and.
It's an interesting thought. We'll think about it. Maybe it's something you can work on outside of with the other captains or something. Like Gwendolyn may not be concerned herself with such things, right? As you guys are leaving, Fergus, would you mind staying for just one moment, please?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Everybody else leaves. Now it's just Fergus. And she says, Fergus, you and I fought side by side during the war. And I know that your dedication to the territories is immense. Am I correct in this?
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that during the war, you were occasionally called upon to do unsavory things. Isn't that right?
Ma'am, yes. Yeah.
I'm concerned about this new governor of Spruce Tuck. His name is Ambrose. I don't like that he's trying to extort the territories in this way by demanding a higher price for the scent. He just doesn't have the common good in mind. And I think a mouse like that in such a position of power is dangerous. What do you think about that, Fergus?
I don't normally think about such things, but I can see that you have wisdom.
Fergus, I'm going to ask you to do an unsavory thing when you get to Spruce Tuck.
Yes, ma'am.
The position of governor in Spruce Tuck is for life. I can't have a mouse like that in that position for that many years. I can't deal with a mouse like that. It's not good for the territories.
Yes, ma'am. I see.
Do you understand what I'm asking you to do?
I do, ma'am. And I do. It'll be hard. I understand.
And then she takes your paw in her paw. She says, Fergus, it's for the good of our children and our grandchildren. We have to do what's right for the territories.